Hello everybody, it's Dr. A. Hope you all had a good holiday. History surfer, I'm in St. Augustine, Florida, the oldest city in the United States. Founded even before the Plymouth colony.
My parents were still not vaccinated. No, my mom.
We're standing in front of Castillo de San Marcos. It was a fort built to protect the city after the raid of Drake, Francis Drake, the great pirate, English pirate, in 1586. St. Augustine was a Spanish colony established by Pedro Menendez de Avila, and Menendez establishes it because he saw the site, but he also was sent here on a mission by the king to take out the Huguenots. It was a colony of Protestants who had come and actually started a small colony closer to Jacksonville. And he chose this site because it seemed to be a good defensive position, as well as it actually has a place for anchorage. It's going to be a colony that never really makes any money per se as far as goods and things like that, but it will be important because it's a great spot for rescuing shipwrecked survivors from when the treasure fleets came up from the coast of Florida with the Gulf Stream from Latin America bearing gold and silver, and this was a vital trade route, and that's why the Spanish crown sank tons of money in maintaining this place. It is a fort built, and here's the little plaque put up by the National Park System in 1672. It was made of coquina stone that was quarried on Anastasia Island, and it was a stone that proved incredibly durable. I had a very kind of these famous professor in college, Dr. Donald Curl, a famous historian, who talked about this fort in the coquina and how when they fired cannonballs at it, it actually was flexible enough that it wouldn't damage the walls. You can see it's this traditional European concept of fort building. You can see the crenellations up there, the slant of the wall so the enemies would have a hard time scaling them. Of course, it had a defensive moat around it, which has since been drained. All moats have been drained in most old buildings. They do impact the foundation, and so they will eventually all be drained. There's just a few I've actually seen that are still full. So I'll continue on and we'll talk about St. Augustine some more. Here's an explanation for the defensive elements of this. The ravelin's always in the front here. This is this element right here. That's called a ravelin, and it's going to help protect the front gate. You can see that here. We have it, I'll point to it, it's right there. Okay. Standing in the moat, as you can see, there's the ravelin and the drawbridge that goes across to the main entrance. There's one of the park rangers going in. The fort's not open yet, of course. That's why we're here early, so you can see it without all the people. But Randog was just asking me, was this place ever attacked? Yes, absolutely. It was attacked by the British, who came down from Georgia and laid siege to the town. So you can see here, the townspeople moved into the fort for protection, and then they had their livestock in the moat. So, the moat was fed, this one was fed, you can see, I'll show you where the water used to come in. It was definitely able to be dried out. So obviously this helped protect the fort. But you can see here in this image, the cattle in the moat, and also note the flag is Spanish. The fort was also a place that the Spanish also watched for pirates. Piracy was an issue, of course, for Spain because Spain had all the money. I'm going to walk over to the wall here right now, and we're going to overlook the harbor here in St. Augustine. It's a nice place. It's a little chilly up here, and you can see boats. I'm not going to shoot the other way because the sun's there, but you can see it's rather marshy. Typical topography for this area. And that's the mouth of the inlet when you would go out, and I can actually see the waves. I don't know if you can, but yeah, it was an important entity for Spanish protection. And again, and I'm going to reiterate, of their treasure fleets. You know, the Spanish were in the New World for gold and glory and God. Let's not forget that. And so it was really important for them to protect that water highway that was created by the Gulf Stream. The fort itself is going to become a U.S. property when Florida becomes a territory in 1821. This was known as East Florida, and Jacksonville is, Pensacola, was West Florida. All right, it was renamed Fort Marion during that American period, and it was part of the U.S. Coastal Defense System, as you can see here in this placard. Here's where we see modifications that were made, the American modifications down here. With this addition, what you're standing in right now here, these were gun platforms were added, and there they are, and I hope you can see it. It is very bright that way. Again, sorry, I'm shooting into the sun. I'm standing on the east side of the fort now, and I'm gonna walk around here, the hot shot oven. Theoretically, cannonballs could be heated and then fired as hot shot at wooden ships. So this would have only been viable if the ship was wooden. You can see in here, it's kind of made for the cannonballs specifically. The fire would be stoked, the shot heated, and then taken out and loaded into a cannon and fired at a ship. Ouch. Just imagine you're attacking this fort. Look at this angle of this wall. It would be almost impossible to climb. And you can also see here on this side of the fort the coquina. The coquina stone, you can't touch this stuff, you know, it's old and it's got a lot of damage to it. But you can see here the layers. It's made of layers of shell compacted over the centuries, and you can see the damage. See the holes, the pock marks? I mean, they've been repairing this thing, but it is something that does deteriorate over time. 1672, long time. We're standing here, sorry about the traffic noise, it's starting to get busy around town, at the gates for St. Augustine. St. Augustine was a walled city, and you can see the fortifications that they designed to try to keep out raiders. I think the fear was certainly because of Drake. Sir Francis Drake raided the city in 1586 and burned it to the ground. It was a viable project to maintain, though, because as I've said in another part of this video, the city was just too valuable to the idea of rescuing the Spanish fleets.